Hello, welcome everybody to Team Tough. I'm Vashawn Borich, and this is our Down and Dirty at 1:30 Central Time Team Tough Hangout. So if you haven't been here before, the whole purpose of this call is to really give you the goods. It's to give you the awesome sauce, if we must, to help you and your business to run more smoothly or just to improve your life in general. So today we have a really awesome topic. We're going to be talking about how you can improve your email responses so that you can get more sales. Does that sound pretty exciting? Well, I thought so. I've had a lot of people ask me, how can I manage my email in a way and manage my list so that I can get sales? So today's call is going to really dive deep into how you can do that and some tips that I've used in order to maximize the amount of sales that you get from your email. All right, so I'm going to give you a little background first of all. The first thing that you need to understand is that you can't manage your email just from an email account like Outlook or Gmail or Yahoo or some email client like that. If you're collecting leads or emails from people, and that you should be, if you're in business, you should be every day collecting emails because that is your lifeblood. That's how you reach out to people in this day and age. So if you're collecting those emails, you need to be emailing and contacting those folks. You need to be managing a relationship with your list. And if you're doing it through Outlook or any other program outside of an email autoresponder, then you could really get in trouble for that. I don't know if you knew that, but if you send out a bulk email to a bunch of people from just a standard email client, it can block you. Your ISP, your internet service provider, can block your account for doing that because it's considered bad etiquette, number one, and number two, it's considered spam, and it also is very taxing on most email clients. So if you don't have one already, you really need to have an email marketing account. And an email marketing account, there's a number of them that are out there. There's, just name a few, there's Aweber. If you want to look them up, there's GetResponse, which is the one I'm going to be going over today because I've been using it for a while and it's my favorite one. And there's also others, some of the smaller ones such as Constant Contact. Maybe you've heard of them. I think it's Email Monkey or MailChimp, I think is what it's called. I used them in the past too. So there's a lot of different programs out there that allows you to send out bulk emails to folks without getting slammed or canned from your email client. So what I recommend is, number one, you make a list of what your needs are. If you're in business for yourself, you need to make a list. Number one, how many people do you currently have on your list? If you have more than 10 people on your list, I would recommend getting an email client for sure, because you want to start using that, using an email marketing client. And the other thing I would write down on your list is how many people total do you have? If you have over 3,000 or more, then you need to consider going with somebody bigger than Constant Contact or MailChimp or some of the smaller guys. And no offense to them, but the bigger you get, you really need a more professional platform that has more bells and whistles with it. And so for me, that platform that I've chosen after all these years has been GetResponse. And I'm going to go into why here in a little bit. But let me give you my link first of all. So before I'm going to switch over again. I like to do this on these calls. You see me for a little bit, and then I show you my screen. So it's kind of like you're looking right over my shoulder. But before I flip over there, I want to give you a link that you can go to. And GetResponse is just GetResponse. So getresponse.com. That's the main website to get hooked up with them. But I also have my own personal link, and I'm going to flip to that. I do get some credits, and you'll find this if you join GetResponse, you get some credits on your account if other people join. So I want to be very upfront and transparent about that. You aren't required to use my link. However, of course, I would appreciate it if you did. And as you'll find, when you have your own account, you'll appreciate it when other people sign up for GetResponse with you, because they give you some credits. Okay, so I'm going to flip my screen over, and we're going to dive deep into how to manage your email. All right, hopefully you can see my screen now. I'm going to show you that link that I spoke of just a moment ago. So this is the link right here. If you would like to sign up for Get Response under me, the link is right here. It's kind of a wild link. It's gr8.com/PR/3N as in Nancy, 4, and then M as in Mary. Again, it's not you're not responsible for using that link. If you want to, you can. Just wanted to give that out. The other, if you want to just go straight through Get Response, it's just getresponse.com. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go in now. So when you first come in to Get Response, obviously you're going to have to set up an account, but you want to log in. I've already logged in. So what I usually do first when I come in is I go to this dashboard. You just click on dashboard. Okay, so when you click on dashboard, it's going to show you, different buttons so that you can log in and you can add more contacts, create a web form, newsletters, landing pages, etc. You can also see, and this is kind of a bonus area in Get Response, you can see any updates that have happened recently with some of your lists. I have a lot of different lists that I run. The one that I'm really pushing hard right now is a sales funnel that I have, and it looks like I got 3 today, so that's awesome. So I just got 3 new leads since this call. So this is a great way for you to see what's going on with your account. Now, the next thing that you want to do if you're brand spanking new to Get Response is you want to come up here. You see where it says your current campaign? You may not have anything here yet. I've got a lot of different accounts, but you won't have anything here. What you're going to want to do is create a brand new campaign. And think of a campaign as a bucket. It's a bucket where you actually store all of your emails. And it's important to have them in, based on the types of emails you're going to send out. For me, I've got a lot of different accounts because I have different things that I like to send out to different people. Like, for instance, I have accounts for martial artists, and so I don't want to send them things not related to martial arts, and vice versa. I don't want to send my other folks stuff if they're not into martial arts. So you want to keep those lists separately, and Get Response is a beautiful way, an easy way I should say, to keep those lists separate. So you come in here and you're going to want to create a list, and I usually give it a name that I can recognize later. So you come down here and you simply click Create a Campaign. And what it's going to do here, it just gives you a little blank field, and it's very, very restrictive as to what you can name it. It has to be all lowercase, and you can't have any strange characters. Only strange character, by strange I mean a character other than a letter that you can use is an underscore. So you might I'll just put this test list hangout for today's hangout. Okay, so by giving it a name, then you just click here, Create New Campaign. Okay, so you should get a nice little screen that says your campaign was successfully created. And now you've got a number of things that you can do next in order to set up your list properly. The very first thing I do after I've created it is I come in here to Edit Campaign Settings. I'm going to click on that. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that my campaign does not have what's called the double opt-in. So I'm going to click on Permission, and I'll explain what that is when somebody registers to be on your list, and we're going to go through that, but when somebody signs up to give you their email address, you don't want them to have to go in and click another link in their email to confirm. Because what we found is that most of the time they won't get that email, they won't recognize it, and they will not click on that link. And then what happens is that they never get added to your list. So it's just one more thing that can make it so that you don't get that lead. So obviously, if you're marketing in a very moral and ethical way, then the only people that are coming to your list are people that have opted in on their own. And what I mean by that is if you're going out and you're buying emails from people, there are companies out there that sell lists. That is, in my opinion, not an ethical way to get people on your list, because they don't know you. They've never met you. They, in most cases, their emails have been captured by scraping websites and things like that, or they're being shared from other marketers. So to me, I don't think that that's an ethical way. Now, you may have had success with that, but I would not do that. So the only people that I sign up or get on my list are those that actually sign themselves up. So they came to one of my pages, they came to my web page, they came to what's called a capture page, which is a page where they enter in their email in order to get something from me. And by doing that, I then capture their email and it goes here. So back to permissions. When you're in here setting up your account, you don't want them to have to click that link that says, yes, I really do want to be on your list. So you just uncheck these little boxes right here: email subscriptions and web subscriptions. By unchecking that, it's instant. You don't have to hit save or anything else. But what that does is it protects you. So that's a good thing to do. The other thing you want to do is check your reply. For me, my reply always comes from Vashon at teamtough.com, because that's my website, is teamtough.com. Initially, you may not have your own website with your own URL and your own email. So then you may want to use like a Gmail account or Yahoo. But I will tell you from my own experience that the sooner you can get your own email address with your own unique URL at the end, the better. And the reason I say that is because it looks more professional. So when somebody receives an email from you, if it has the same web address on it as the web that they remember going to, then it's going to give you a little more credibility than somebody who just has like a Gmail or a Yahoo account when they reply. So that's something else to do. You don't have to worry about changing this because we turned off the opt-in, and you don't have to worry about the confirmation page because we turned that off. So that's done. So that was the first part of setting up my list. And the next part, and really the meat of this call, is what kind of stuff do you send to these folks? When they first register as onto your list, do you just collect their email and randomly send them out emails? How does that work? Well, how it works is you're going to be sending what's called autoresponders. And an autoresponder is basically some pre-written emails that you've done that'll automatically start going out at a certain time frame. So you don't have to sit here and be at your computer when new emails are added to your list. They automatically will start receiving emails because of your autoresponder. Pretty cool, huh? So we're going to talk about that now. We're going to show you exactly how to set up an autoresponder and what types of emails are really going to help you and your business. All right, so here's how you do this. I'm just going to go back to the dashboard again. It's an easier place to start. If you ever get lost and get response, just go right back to the dashboard and you can kind of find your way a little easier. So one thing I'll say is, before you start adding an autoresponder in GetResponse, you need to make sure that your current campaign is the one that you want the autoresponder to go to. For me, I've got so many different lists, and I have to always check this, because if I accidentally had another list selected up here, and I'll change it real quick, when I go in to set up all my autoresponders, they're going to show up under this list instead of the one that I want. So first thing, before you set any new autorespond emails, is you want to come in here and you want to go down to your test or whatever you named it and make sure it's your current campaign. So that's done. We're all set to go. All right, so the next area that you would do is you'd come in here to messages, and you're going to click where it says create autoresponder. Now, if you're using another email client other than GetResponse, they all work pretty similarly. So, you just might have to go through the tutorial that's offered through each one so that you can get a good idea as to where all of these things are. But in general, they call them the autoresponders. So if you are wanting to set up automatic emails to go out when somebody signs up, that's going to be in the autoresponder section. All right, so it's going to ask me to create an autoresponder. And for what I do here is I'm going to leave, I always want one to go out almost immediately from the time that they sign up. And I actually have pre-created an email that's just my general welcome email that I use for most of my new list. But let's imagine you don't have one of those. The way, if you had one, you would click choose message, and then you can go back and choose an old email that you've already sent out. If you don't have one, like most of you who are on this call today, then you come over here and you click create a new email. All right, so then it'll come up to this page. The only part of this that you really need to fill out is the subject line. And so we'll just say welcome. And this is actually what they will see when your email comes through. So I'm just going to put welcome to Team Tough. We need all capitals there. That's an acronym. All right. And then when I hit next step, it's automatically going to give this message the same name as the subject line, which is something I really like to do, because then I can easily find it later. If I remember the subject line, I can find it later and use it on other emails if it makes sense. So I'm going to click next step. All right, so now we're in the area where you can actually design your emails. Now you can get really, really fancy. There's a lot of templates that are already created here within GetResponse, and you can actually create a template and then save. Like if you wanted to create your own custom template, you could do so and then save that for your own templates. And that's pretty much what I've done. That's the ones that I use all the time, as I have saved templates. Otherwise, you can just start from scratch. And I'm going to show you my save template, and I'll also show you how to save your own, because it'll save you time in the long run if you know how to make your own templates, so you can quickly send out emails to your list and add new ones to your autoresponder. So I'm going to click on my templates. I've got a lot of different ones. And right now I'm doing a holiday gift one, so I'm going to pull up this one, and I just click use template. All right, so it pulls up my template. Now, if you didn't have a template back on that other page that I was on, you could start from scratch, and you could actually build out your email, using images and whatever else you want to put into your template. And then at the bottom, after you've built it out how you'd like it, you'll click down here. You see where it says Save As? I'm hoping you can see it. Let me pull my screen up a bit. Down here in the bottom where it says Save As, you have the option to save it as a template. And in saving it as a template, it'll always be listed under My Templates when you go to create new emails in the future. Pretty cool. All right, so let me go back here. And so in order to edit this template, all I do is I click on the box, and I can type in whatever I want. Okay, so I just typed in welcome to Team Tough, and all the editing tools are here. If I wanted to make it a link, I could do that just by highlighting it and then clicking on the little chain here to make it a link if I wanted to. And any images, like if I wanted to pop an image in, I'm going to close this image out and show you how easy it is. If I want to add a new image, I come over here to the tools, I click on image block, and I drag it to where I want it on my email. Now it's going to ask me to choose an image. I simply click on that, and then they have a lot of stock photography that I could use, or you can upload your own just by clicking on My Images, and then you can either upload from your computer or upload from a URL. And any images you upload are going to stay here in this gallery, so you can reuse them again. So like if I wanted to use the image of Justin and I, hey, Justin, if you're on the call, hello there. This is a great pic. Thanks for letting me take a pic with you. So here's a picture, and you can have it, and you can resize it too. Just by clicking on it, I can use this little tool here, and I can size it down or make it bigger if it was too small. One thing, and this is kind of a samurai tip for you, I recommend for any images that you put in your email or in your template that you make them a link to your capture page or to whatever it is that you're promoting. And because a lot of people will click on images and you want it to go somewhere, and it might as well go to something that's going to help make you money, right? So make it so that it clicks over to a sales page, a capture page, or something of that nature. And to do that, you simply click on the image, then you click on this little chain tool, and then you type in the link, and you will need to type in the full HTTP and type in your link wherever you want them to go, and then click OK. All right, and when you size an image down, it does leave a little space at the bottom. If you hover over that box, you can drag that space back up again. So it really is an easy tool to use. So you get the idea. You can type things in. You can add all kinds of things. You can even add highlights to it if you wanted to. Come in here, the color picker. You can change the color of your text. All kinds of cool things. Whoops, I made it red. There we got it. Chartreuse. So you can make it whatever color you want. Again, make your images clickable. And then the nice thing is when you create your own template, you can have an auto signature at the bottom. And I pretty much use the same signature, and then I change out the PS. So here's another samurai trick. On every email that I send out, I include a PS. And my PS typically has some special gift or some special offer that I'm doing, or it may be a link to to sign up for something that I'm selling. But the benefit of those PSs is it's been tracked that that is the one area of your email that is most likely going to be clicked on. So why not make it a really compelling offer in your PS so that people will actually click on it, and you might get some new responses and new sales just because you included that in your PS. So I'm teaching you my tricks, and hopefully you'll use some of these, and let me know how well it works for you as well. Okay, so that gives you an idea how to set up your email. The next step, if I wanted to send this out, I'd click on next step. And remember, we're setting up auto response emails right now. So now I've got my test list hangout is where this is going to go. I've got a welcome letter. I didn't really change the text on it, but I could change the text on that. And then I come down here and I click save and publish. So now it's going to pull up my calendar. So for this particular list, this is my test list that I just created. I only have one auto response email, and that's the one I just created. And here's another samurai tip. I recommend at minimum that you have 5 auto response emails. So 5 days worth of autoresponder emails that are going to go out from the time somebody signs up on your list. So, like I said, the first one, and I'm going to give you kind of a formula that's going to help you so that you can get more sales from your autoresponders. Would you like to learn that? I thought so. So with that said, the very first thing I do is, welcome them to your list. And I'm actually going to show you some autoresponders that I've created so that you can get an idea as to how you might want to set yours up. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go to one of my other lists. One of them that I've having a lot of success with is my sales funnel. Okay, so and this is showing you in my sales funnel list. So this is when somebody signs up on my capture page, that this is the series of emails that they're going to receive. So this is a calendar. So right here, the very first thing that they get is a welcome email, and I'll even show you what that looks like. Here's how you do that. You just hover over it, and then you'll see the little icon that looks like an eyeball. You click on that, and it's going to open it up as a preview so you can take a look at it. All right, so it shows me, and my first one is a welcome, and it'll automatically populate their name. And I can show you quickly how to do that too. It's really, really easy. And then it's going to, share them my welcome message. And my real key here with my welcome message is I want them to know that I'm a real person. I'm not, I'm not just a computer out there. And so I let them know, kind of what I'm all about. And then I ask them to make sure they add my email address to their address book. And the reason I do that is because I want them to not have my email go to spam. And typically, if you have somebody's email address in your address book, then their internet service provider won't bounce your message into their spam box or bulk email box. So I put that in there. And then I talk about, what Team Tough stands for. And, of course, I'm a real person. And then I include ways for them to get a hold of me, how they can connect with me, because it's so important that, everybody that signs up with me or inputs their email, I want them to know, I'm a real person. I'm not going to abuse you. I'm here to provide good quality information that hopefully makes your life better, your mind, your body, your spirit better as a whole. And so I include that. And then I also included a photo of me. This is one that was taken of me in New Orleans when I was at one of the masterminds, so that they can, kind of see who I am, because up until this point, they probably haven't really seen who I am and who they're speaking with. And then again, I have my PS. And in this case, I just want to make sure they add, my name to their email address book so that I don't get blocked. So that's the very first one I did. After that one, then I have a series of videos. And this came from the last mastermind I was at, which I highly recommend if you've never been to an internet mastermind and you're interested in having your own business, especially an online freedompreneur business. I highly recommend that you get to our masterminds. We do them about 4 times a year. And if you're interested in learning more about what a mastermind is, I'll be sending out an email probably tomorrow, actually, that'll give you some updates on that. But you can always reach out to me. Like I said in my email, I'm a real person. So if you have questions, shoot me an email or send me a text message on Facebook, and I'll be happy to get you information about these masterminds and how powerful they are in helping you and your business to grow. So the first one that I have here is an introduction to a partnership that I have with the Unstoppable Tribe. And it goes through, and I'm not going to open every one of these because it'll take time, but basically it goes through and it gives them some information about our masterminds, and it shows them a really cool video that talks about our different things that we do on our team. So that's the very first one after the welcome. And these are by day. So the first day they get the welcome. The next day, so this is one day after they've signed up, then they get this, introduction to our partnership, and they get to see a video with Rhonda and the Unstoppable Tribe. And then we go from there. It's a 4-part video series. So it's going to show them the next video on day 2, and the next one on 3, and so on. So that's kind of my initial funnel that I've put together. But I want to share with you something that's kind of cool, because this was told to me, about 6 months ago, and it really changed my business. And what it is, I'm going to flip back over to me because we're going to do some talking for a bit. Give me a second here. All right, hopefully you can see me again. All right, so basically the tip, this is your big samurai tip, is how you send out these emails. You don't want to be hammering your list with sales over and over and over and over again, because that's the quickest way to get people to unsubscribe and opt out of your email. People don't like to be hounded. I mean, think about what you like to receive. Do you like to receive emails in your box that constantly are asking you to buy stuff? Probably not. I mean, I don't know about you, but I really don't like to have that happen. Now, if somebody sends me an email and they're sharing something really cool, then that's different. I may take a look at it. I might even buy it. But if they're constantly saying, buy my stuff, or, hey, you need to join my team, or you need to, do this, do that, after a while, it's just noise, and I'm going to, opt out of that list. So here's my formula that, you can use, and it's really helped me for how I send out emails. So the first thing is, you want to send out emails that talk about who you are and what kind of value that you're providing. And so I would say your very first emails that you want to start sending out are value-based. And what I mean by that is you want to send out an email that is giving your audience some really good information that they can use. In the newspaper industry, we used to call that news you can use. So you want to provide them with emails that they can use. Give them some tips. Give them a video that shares something. Invite them to a free hangout, kind of like what you're sitting on now. Encourage them, give them, some inspiration. Maybe include a special document or special gift in your email. This is the number one email that I would recommend sending out is value, 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 because the more value that you can provide as a business owner, the more excited that people get about you and your business. And they're literally going to want to buy things from you because you've provided so much value. So that's one type of email that you should send out. The second type of email that you should strive to send out is what I call social proof. And social proof is actually sharing successes. So it's not that you're selling to them, you're just sharing what's happened and what's possible. Like say you just had, somebody, buy a bunch of stuff from you. You might just say, so-and-so bought this because, share why they did it, what benefit they had, and say, we just wanted to reach out and thank them for, buying this product from us. And we're so glad to have them as part of our family or part of our organization. And you might even have them, if they will, offer a testimonial, which is even better. If somebody buys something from you or they're having success with your product, maybe they bought something and they just love it, have them share that. Ask them kindly if they'd be willing to either A, write a letter, or B, share a video, which is more powerful, and include that as social proof that what you're selling is valuable and exciting and other people really like it. For me and my business, what I do a lot of times is I'll share the successes that other people are having in my business, because I don't like it to be all about me. It's really about others that I'm helping. I mean, that's why I'm here. I want to help others like you to have success online, because it really changes everything when you realize that with your computer, you can literally make a living and live the lifestyle that you've always wanted to live. And that was such a big, big deal for me, because I get tired of the slave, the constant grind, as we call it. And to know that I literally can almost print money from my computer. Now, not literally. I don't want you guys to think I'm doing crazy illegal stuff. But you literally, by having access to an internet in the computer, you can create a very nice lifestyle. And I have internet products that I sell. If you're not in this business, I encourage you to click on the button below. There's a button down there, and you can join our team. You can try it out, kick the tires if you must, and see what you think. So that social proof to me is so important, and I like to share how successful that other people are on my team, and it really makes a difference. So I know I went long on that, but it's kind of fun. So we've got our social proof. Social proof is number 2. The third thing is you want to share your lifestyle. And this is more storytelling. You want to tell people what are some things that you're up to. What are you doing? What are the fun things that are going on in your life? People like to connect with real people. They don't like to just buy things from people that always are selling, like I said earlier. They want to know who you are. What's your lifestyle like? What are your values? What do you believe in? What are the things that excite you? Because suddenly they start to see you for who you are, and now they become a fan because they can connect with you and they can relate with who you are. So I do a lot of that. I love to share things that my children and I do. I have 2 sons, so I like to share a lot of that because it's fun for me. It's fun to share, and I hope that people enjoy what I write, but really it's more of an outlet for me just to let people know, hey, life is really good, and it's meant to be lived, and it's meant to spend with those that you love. And if you're not doing that, if you're not enjoying what you're doing in your life, then you need to make a change. And this is your wake-up call. If you're on this hangout now and you are somebody that's just burnt out with your life, it's time. This is your wake-up call. It's time to make a change. Life is far too short to live a miserable life. And you may be scared to make a change, but I'll tell you what, it really does make life better. Initially, it's scary, but it's like that jump off of the cliff with your parachute. You know, you're scared, you think you're going to die at first, but then that parachute opens and all of a sudden you're like, man, why didn't I do this sooner? This is so awesome. So maybe that's a bad analogy. Some people might be afraid of heights, but you know what? That's what it's about. It's about overcoming your fears and doing what you love. So we talked about three things so far. We talked about your sharing information. We talked about social proof. We talked about sharing your lifestyle. So those are the three main types of emails that I would recommend sending out. And I would just kind of alternate those emails back and forth. Now, there's one other email that I recommend for people that are in my industry, and that's inviting them to events and happenings. So I really think it's important for people to get to know you through either Hangouts or different events. So one of the emails that I always send out at least once a week is an invitation to get on this Hangout or another Hangout or some event or training that we host. Because in doing that, number one, I'm providing value. Number two, it's an opportunity for me to get in front of you as a real person and not just a computer screen. And it's another way to get my message out there and to share my hopes, my values, my dreams, and the reasons why I'm doing this and why you might, this might resonate with you. So if you're not inviting them to something, if you don't have your own Hangout, for instance, invite them to other people's Hangouts. There's a lot of different information and good things that are going on no matter what industry you're in. Just get in the habit of learning and influence others to learn too, because you suddenly will start to become the expert in your field if you're the one that's out there and sharing this information with them. Even if you're not the one hosting the Hangout, you are sharing that information with them, and it makes you be the expert, which is what you are. You are the expert in whatever field that you're in. Cool, huh? All right, so we have kind of your formula. So how do you, get these emails written, and what's the best, frame of mind and action that you need to take? Well, here's the key. If you're not a good writer, then look at other people's emails. I'm sure that you've all received emails in your inbox from people that are, selling things, or they are showing you the product, whatever it is. But I want you to look at the ones that actually drew your attention in, the ones that you actually clicked on and opened and read and like, wow, that's really cool. If they influenced you in that way, start saving those. Create a little folder in your email box and just call it sales copy or something like that, and start dragging and dropping those really good, powerful emails into that folder. That's what I do. Well, at least initially that's what I did. Now I can write it on my own. But as I started doing that, I would pull those up before I wrote my letters, and I would pull up one that was really, really good. And I said, you know what, I'm going to mimic what they did. And I'd kind of dissect their emails and then write my own email in a similar way. Now, don't copy it verbatim, because that's a great way to get blocked by people. A lot of people are on many different lists, and if they see the same thing over and over again, they're going to block you. So, make sure that you're using it as a template, but you're not copying it word for word. And by doing that, it's going to make your copy that much better. For instance, one thing I learned is you always want to have at least 3 links in every email. You want to have a link at the beginning of the email, a link in the middle, and a link at the bottom, at least. And that link should pretty much be the same. It should, go to your capture page or an offer or whatever it is that you have. And by doing that, it's helping to influence people to click on that link, okay? You don't just want one small little link in there and say, hey, my email campaign didn't work. You want to keep adding that link in there in various places, or make your images clickable like we spoke of earlier. So I gave you a big tip there, and that's to start collecting emails that are really good. So how do you do that? Well, the other thing you want to do is you want to get on people's list. So if you're not on my list, get on it. Jump on my list, and you'll see some of the emails that I send out. Get on some of the other folks' email lists that that you admire, you've been watching online, and start checking out what they're doing. And it's that's a great way to learn, is by mimicking other people until you're able to do it on your own and write effective body copy. And then the third thing is maybe you just don't have time for this. Some people are like, what, I don't have time to write an email. I'm so slammed right now. You can actually hire people as copywriters in order to write your emails. So there are places that you can go to find really good copywriters. You can just do a search on Google, or you might check out Fiverr, and that's FIVERR.com. I was going to show you, but I have to flip back around again. But there's a lot of different places that you can go in order to find copywriters to help you with your email. The other thing you can do is you can actually borrow the list or the email autoresponders from some of your own mentors. Now, get their permission first, but if you personally are sponsored by me, let me know, and I will give you a link that you can do to import my emails into your own autoresponder. Now, once you import them, you will need to go in and make some changes to it so it's you and not me, but it'll give you a great starting point to get going. So this is something to consider if you're on my team. Some other things you might consider is if you have a friend, maybe you have a friend that's really good at writing. You might ask them, if they can help you in exchange for something else. Maybe you can do a trade, or if you have extra income, you could even hire them to do it, but they would write a series of autoresponders. So hopefully this is giving you some ideas. It's getting your juices turning in your head as to what types of things that you can do. I am going to flip back one more time over to GetResponse, because I wanted to show you just a few more things that I missed earlier. But I'm hoping that you're taking notes and you're finding great value in what I'm showing you here today. So I'm going to flip back over. All right, so we talked about the autoresponder. One of the things that I like to do in my emails is I like to personalize those emails. So I'm going to open this one back up again, and I'm going to show you how you can personalize your emails so that when people get them, it doesn't just seem like it's an email coming from an autoresponder. So I'm going to click here where it says Edit Message. And so one thing I can do is right here where it says, hi, here's my contact info. I can hit comma and then personalize. And if you hover over personalize, now I can put their name there. And all I did was click on name. And what this will do is if I had collected their name and I tried to collect at least their first name when I get their email, now it's going to say, hi, here's my contact info, Bill, or whoever it was that signed up. And that makes it more personal. It's not just a blanket email. It looks a little more personable. All right, so then I go to the next step. Okay, so you can see I've already personalized this one, but in the very first part where it says hello name, this is an area where I typically like to personalize. And the personalization tool, I don't know if let me scroll my screen up here a little bit. The personalization looks like this little head right here in the icons. So if you click on that, it's going to show me all the different categories. So I can select their email and whatever you collect. Some of you may actually collect where they live and things like that. You could even personalize that. So there's a lot of different things that you can add as personalization. So this is just a really big samurai tip in order to make your emails get opened more readily. If it has somebody's name in it, they're probably going to open it just to see what's up. A lot of times if it doesn't have their name in it, they may not open it at all. The other thing that you might want to do is you may want to do what's called a split test. And I'm not going to have enough time today to go through all of it, but you can look, GetResponse has an excellent tutorial within their system, and you can go in and learn how to do a split test. If you're not familiar with a split test, A split test allows you to create two different versions of an email or a subject line, for example. And then when you send that out to your list, it's going to send out both versions. Half your list will get one and half your list will get the other. And then you can track it and see which emails got opened the most. So that is a really, really cool tool, and it's a way for you to streamline the way you build your emails and how you use your subject lines. So I'm going to close this here really quick. I'm going to show you another area that's important in GetResponse. The other area that's important is, let me just switch this to my active subscribers. The other part that's important is your email analytics. So you can come over here and you can click on Statistics, Email Analytics. And this isn't probably a good one because I haven't sent them one. Let me go to, I'll just go to one here that's my team so you can kind of see. All right, so what this does is it's going to show you your open rate for your emails. And this is really important to look at because you want to try to get your open rate at least at 7%. 7% is kind of the sweet spot. If you get it over 7%, you are doing fantastic. But you want to try to get it there. If you're not getting that type of open rate, then you need to change up your email messages. You need to mess with your subject line. Look up online on great subject lines. There's some tools out there where you can actually look at subject lines that tend to get higher click-through rates, and then select a subject line based on that that'll work for whatever email you're going to be sending out. So these are just some great tips for you when you're sending out emails, because really the key in those emails is to get people to know, like, and trust you. I know we've talked about this before, but it's so important for you to build a following of fans who really, really like what you send out and they open your emails. Another samurai tip for you is in your email, oftentimes I want you to send out emails that have a deadline. And you might even say that in the headline or the subject that this email will self-destruct in 2 hours or whatever you want to, whatever timeline you want to put on it, and then have a special offer or a special gift or something that you give out to folks just for opening your email. And what that does, it's kind of like the Pavlov dogs of email. I know it sounds funny, but basically what you're doing is you're teaching people that if they don't open your email and click on something, that they're not going to get whatever it is you're offering. And you want people to open your emails. That's key, because here's another tip. Email is it's basically what happens when you get those leads. They have to receive email at least 7 times before most people will buy. Did you know that? So if you're not sending out emails to your list on a regular basis, then folks are not going to be buying from you because they don't know you. They don't necessarily like you yet, and they definitely don't trust you. So you've got to get those emails in front of them at least 7 times. So here's the other idea. You want to make sure that you're not bombarding them with emails. Now I know that there's other people, like, I don't know if any of you know Michelangelo. He sends out, oh my gosh, 3, 4, 5 emails a day to his list, and that works for him. But for me, I haven't had success with that. In fact, there was a time frame in which I was sending out 3 emails a day, and I started getting people that didn't want to open my emails. And so what I would recommend to you is that you pick a time frame that's going to work for you and your audience. For me, it's typically 1 email a day initially, and then I kind of reduce it down to about 3 to 4 emails per week after that. So that's been kind of the sweet spot for me. And people have come back from my list that maybe were getting hammered in the beginning. Now they're coming back because I'm not hitting them with so many emails. So that's another big tip. Let me think if there's anything else that I missed on today's thing. What I wanted to let you know too is when you're composing your emails, you might experiment with short versus long as well. Some emails If they're really, really short, they will get opened more quickly than if they're really long. And it's a great thing to do a split test on so that you can see what your audience likes. And that's the other key. I know I keep talking about audience, but you need to really focus on who you're really trying to market to. If you're writing emails to everyone, then you're not going to have as much success as if you're writing to a single person. And what I mean by that is when you write those emails, you have to pretend in your mind that you're writing an email to a single person, and it should be the ultimate customer for you. I mean, what are they like? Maybe it's a good friend of yours that that loves your products. You want to write your email in that tone of voice. And in writing it that way, it's going to allow people to get to know you better, and they're going to trust you better because it sounds like that email was written just for them. So these are some more tips to help you get more sales online. I'm going to flip back over, and if you have any questions at all, I encourage you to write them down in the bottom chat window of this Hangout, and I will answer those as quickly as I can after this call so that you get those answers. And if there's other things that you would like to see on this Hangout, write it down in that chat window below, and we have these Hangouts every single Monday at 1:30. So if you write something down there that you would like to see, I will work to get those on upcoming Hangouts. So I hope you had this, you found value in what I offered today. And if so, let me know. If not, let me know that too, so that we don't rehash subject matter that you don't feel is valuable. So with that, have a very happy holiday, and we'll see you next Monday. Take care.